What is up, everybody? Bobby here, the Nintendo Guru. Before we begin today's episode of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast, I want to just say, Toby's a slacker, didn't want to do this segment, so I'll jump in right away, and I'll pick up the ball and run with it, because that's what I do. I save the show every opportunity I get. With that said, this part of the show, and everything that we do beyond where we are right now in our podcasting world, would not happen if not for the amazing patrons over at Patreon. I want to give a quick thanks to all of our executive producers: Nick Militia, Next Level Games, Joel Brooks, James Johnson, Jesse Armstrong, Glauco Schaefer, David Ray, Michael Drummy. Also, we have a gold executive producer, Sheldon Benedict, and our amazing, awesome, platinum executive producer. Everybody's amazing and awesome. I just threw that little extra title in there. Cory Hicks. So thank you guys again for all that you do. We would not be here without you. On with the show. What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 19 of the Nintendo PlayStation Podcast. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by my lazy best friend in all the land, Toby Thornton. What is up, Toby?
I thought we were friends, Bobby.
We are friends. I just said.
Look, I was all off because of baby stuff for 1 week.
Yeah.
And you're berating me in my absence.
What are you talking about? How did I berate you in your absence?
You are saying that I should be replaced, that I'm no good.
It's okay. When you listen to this show, you're going to hear it again.
And I'm stiff, and I'm boring.
I didn't say you were stiff and boring. I said all British, like you and Andrew House.
Well, I happen to be British, Bobby, so
the only one, there's only two British, three, that I feel
Bobby
aren't stiff and boring, and that would be Michael Drummy, your father. Who's the third?
Murren.
Yeah, Murren. That's it.
I knew you were thinking that. And Bobby,
and
right?
Toby.
The only reason you're doing this intro, or you did that intro, is because I thought you were so good, and I complimented you for being so good at it, and you throw it back in my face by calling me lazy.
Listen, it's a joke, man. Come on, it's what we do. It's all love.
I know. It's
all love.
I'm playing too.
No, Toby, we're good. Honestly, I appreciate the compliment. Toby said that he liked the way I did it last week, and he asked that I would continue to do it. And that's what you get when you do it. I'm not going to do it the same way every single time. I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to take what we're doing and kind of slam it in there and make it fun, you know? So that's what I do. That's what I bring to the table, you know? So
all right, Bobby.
I do that on a weekly basis. Like, I laugh when people will come to me, be like, man, your scripts are so good for your videos. And I'm like, I don't script none of it, man. That is all off the cuff, man. That's all just me thinking of what I want to say and just saying it. Like, that's just how I am. When it comes to reading, I am not good at reading at all.
It's true. I've heard your scripts, and when you mess up,
I can read. Don't get me wrong, but it's like when I read out loud, I get nervous, and I stammer and I stutter and I like mix the words up and such. And it's like I'm getting better because I've been doing it a lot more on Nintendo Talk. But man, when I first started, holy cow, dude, it was like the first time I had to read something was Joey Ferris asked me to do a video for Commonwealth Realm, and I came down here, and it was only like I read like maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes worth of stuff, and it took me like 30 minutes to read it because I kept messing up the words. I had to keep stopping, and I had to keep going back and rereading it and doing it again and again, and it was horrible, like so bad. So I'm not a good public reader, you know, when it comes to that, like reading out loud, but I can read somewhat. I'm from Jersey.
I mean, you are a professional live commentator, though.
That I can do. That I can hang on to, and I can, that's just running your jaws. I like to talk a lot, so that helps.
That is true, Bobby. You have verbal diarrhea.
See? And then you wonder why you get it. That's all right. Anybody that's listening right now, just make sure you listen to the show after the credits, because there's a little part that you're going to want to hear afterwards.
Yeah, I want to hear that too.
Yeah. Well, someone had to go to the bathroom, so someone had to do something. Now you're all nervous. Let's kick this episode off like we do each and every episode of our Geek Outs.
Geek out!
Toby, what are you geeking out about?
I can't tell you what I'm geeking out about, Bobby.
What does that mean?
It's something we're going to be discussing later on today about our Patreon. I've just got some cool ideas for future Patreon goals and stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. What the hell?
But I'm excited about it, and I just want everyone else to be excited about it as well. But I don't want to say it yet in case it doesn't happen. But
okay.
I think it's a good idea. So.
Sean and I and you have to sit down and go over some stuff because we've hit goals that we weren't expecting to hit as quickly as we did. We were not prepared for all the success of the Patreon campaign, so that's pretty awesome. I have a couple things I'm geeking out about since you're not really going to be very vocal in that terms. Number one, I have taken Nintendo Talk Live and we are going to turn it into an audio podcast. That is part of the $200 stretch goal that we just reached. I felt like it's been in talks for a while. People have said it to me numerous times, like, hey, I don't have a lot of time to sit there and watch a full video on YouTube. Could you turn this into an audio? And I kept putting it off, and I was like, I don't know that I want to do that. I kind of like the way it is. And then it just kept getting asked. And then Andy I think it's Penzek. See, this is where my litter part comes in. I can't get names right at all. The Nintendo Foreman and or Ninformant, whatever. So again, I can't get names right. Anyway, he hit me up on Twitter and was like, "Hey, are you gonna make this an audio?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I will." And I was like, "Hey, Dave Moore, what do you think about it?" And he was like, "I told you to do that at the beginning, Bobby. I don't know why you waited so long." And I was like, "Okay, Dave, thank you." And so Friday night, Dave and I got into a Skype call, or was it Friday? Yeah, Friday night. Dave and I got into a Skype call, and we set it up. It's going through the approval process through Apple, so hopefully this week sometime. Could be up now. I don't know. I also recorded an episode 0 with Dave just to kind of explain to people and thank people for it all. But so that was part 1. Part 2 was the worst thing that ever happens when Dave and I get into a Skype call is we start ordering Amiibo from Japan. And I now have Box Boy on the way.
Oh, wow.
And it'll be the final one that I need.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
To get them all. And that'll be I will be current, once again, of every Amiibo that has ever been issued. I have all the Monster Hunter Stories ones and all these ones. So it's pretty awesome.
Speaking of Amiibo, but not technically Amiibo, I was in a game store today and I saw one of those Rabid figures.
Oh, they're so nice.
But
they have like smaller ones.
I saw the big one in there.
That's the one I have, the big one.
Yeah. It was £80 though, and that shocked me a bit because it's not that much bigger than a normal Amiibo.
They're adding some money on that baby.
Yeah.
Because mine was $40. There's
really?
No way, there's no way that's $80. They only have 2 sizes. They have the little ones that are probably like Amiibo size, and then they have the other ones that are probably like this. The ones that I have. You can't links there, but it's the one up there. Yeah, they're not £80. Is it like a secondhand shop or?
No, it's a game. Your game. Well, you bought your Hello Kitty cards from them.
That I never got. That they never gave me.
Oh wow!
Scumbags.
Yeah, they are trash. Scumbags, actually, Bobby.
They're pure trash. The last thing I'm geeking out about is I showed you just before this, I commissioned Adam Leonard of Megadads to do a cool, very, very cool new logo for Sean Capri and I for If We Were at Nintendo. And so it's going to be unveiled on Monday Night Show. It's pretty spectacular, man. It is really...
You showed me it, and I was blown away by it.
This guy is just phenomenal. And actually, after he did the first, he sent me... Because he was sending me mock-ups to be like, are you okay with this? Is this all right? And I was like, yeah, man, it looks gorgeous. I'm happy with it. The first thing he sent me was the image of Sean and I. And then that was the first thing, and I was like, this is cool. This is, it was real, it was awesome, but it was real, just a typical what you expect out of a logo. And I didn't realize he was doing actually 2 different logos. And The banner one is just wow. Like, he crushed it, man. It is gorgeous. So I can't wait for people to see it. It actually changed our overlay on the show and everything. Like, I actually incorporated it into the new intro and all that. Like, it's going to be amazing. And the unveiling kind of plays out perfectly of the new, along with the new intro. Like, that's where it gets, because when it first, well, let me ask you, before you saw what it was, what were you thinking when you saw?
Well, I didn't know.
Did you even know what was going on?
I didn't know what was going on. I was like, because you can see little details, and you think, what the hell? What's that? Yeah. What's going on here? Like, and you come up with all these different ideas. Is it a new show? But no, it's it makes sense when you see it.
When it pans out and you see it, it's like but it's just cool how it plays, but the way it works. Yeah. So
really cool.
It's funny because when I made the announcement last night that, like, for those that are interested in the new logo and the new intro, be sure to tune in Monday night 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live to see it unveil. Because once we go live, it's going to be a one-time showing. Boom, 8 o'clock, dead on. But Justin Masson tweeted me. He's like, "Hey, did you happen to keep that awesome voice?" And because that's the one thing that's been true since about the second or third episode was Justin Masson's voice saying "If we ran Nintendo," and that is in there. It does come up at the very end of it and all that stuff, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What the heck is that?
What?
Why are you messaging me during?
I didn't mean to message you, Bobby.
During the show.
My thumb slipped.
You are an idiot.
I knew it would distract you.
You are such an idiot. Anyway, let's jump into some topics, shall we? I guess we go with yours first, because I'd rather just get this nonsense out of the way.
Oh, come on, Bobby.
I hate this. I hate this topic, man.
I know you hate this. And actually, it pleases me that you hate this.
I'm sure it does. Go ahead.
All right, so 2 weeks ago, the last time I was on the podcast...
6 months ago when Toby was on the podcast.
We started making a top 20 list of PlayStation 1 games that would be on a potential PSOne Classic.
We just do it on one episode.
We each bought 5 strong games to the list.
We should have stopped while we were ahead. That's my opinion, but whatever.
So we got 10 already, and we're coming up with another 10 today. So we're going to go back and forth, aren't we, Bobby?
Woohoo! Go ahead.
So who's going first?
I'll go first.
No. All right, fine, Bobby. You go first.
I'm just going to breeze through this list, people, because I know you don't want to sit through this with me.
Actually, it was quite popular. We had quite a few comments.
Yeah, I guess. Mine would be Final Fantasy Tactics. That'll be the first one I want to go with.
That's a good one. I never thought about that one.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. Really, and it kind of got me into the turn-based because I had never played a turn-based strategy RPG prior to that. I was horrible at it, and it frustrated the heck out of me. But I love the art style. I love the gameplay of it and stuff. Like, it was really, really good. So
yeah, that game has inspired a lot of other turn-based strategy games like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Very good pick, Bobby. I approve. That is a massive cup, Bobby. What size is that?
24 ounces.
Is that a large?
Yes.
That's like, you can't order cups like that in the UK. You just can't.
That's because you guys are sissies. This is a man's cup, baby. Look at it. Double fist that baby right there.
Oh my god. Oh my god, Bobby, that's hilarious. Oh, right. So my first game
you like my shirt?
is... Yeah, I love that shirt, Bobby.
Okay, just asking.
Mud's very nice.
Thank you. Just asking.
My first game is Medieval. Have you heard of Medieval?
No, never heard of it.
It's like a third-person action adventure game. You play as a skeleton who's got a sword, and I think his name is Sir Daniel Fortescue, something like that. Basically, it's undead guy, and it's just one of those games that is sort of synonymous with the PlayStation 1. I can't believe you haven't heard of it, Bobby, because everyone knows about it.
Apparently not everyone.
Well, it's just, whenever I think
I only know the good games.
This game pops up. This is a very good game, Bobby. It's very sort of quirky and Tim Burton-esque in ways. It's quite a colourful, humorous game.
You know what I learned about you in all this? You really turned your back on Nintendo. You really turned your back on
What
Nintendo.
are you talking about? This isn't N64 Classic. I could come up with loads of N64 games for N64
You just
Classic.
really turned your back on Nintendo back in the day. I'm disappointed in you.
Bobby, N64 was at the same time. It was like one of my favourite consoles.
I don't know why. Anyway.
Oh, behave, Bobby. Behave.
Okay. My next game, I can't remember if you said this on the show or not. Gex.
No, I didn't.
Okay. That's the thing. I can't really remember what you said. I know that every game that's on my list I didn't say. But this one comes from my best friend in England, Mike Drummy. He recommended this game. So that's why I posted this one up. Just because I knew it would make him happy. So this one's for you, Michael.
Why do you call him Michael?
That's his name.
He's Mike. He doesn't like being called Michael.
Whatever, man. He's
no,
okay.
I know that because Mike is my best friend.
But see, here's the thing. He likes when I call him Michael.
Does he?
Has he ever told me not to?
We'll see.
Has he ever said it bothers him?
We'll see in the comments, Bobby. All right, so my next pick...
He called me Bay this week. So step up your game there, Tobias.
All right, fair enough. I've still got to give him my thank you card for Patreon.
Oh yeah, you walked over and handed it to him. Big deal. All right. I'm such a slacker. Here's all my notes. I still gotta send them.
Wow.
I'm such a bum.
You are a bumble.
I know, man. It's horrible. I apologize.
All right. My next game is Tomb Raider 2.
Yeah.
And the reason I picked the second one is because that's the one that had the mansion that you could explore. And you could lock your butler in the freezer. The poor guy, he would follow you around everywhere with his tea tray, rattling around, and you could shut him in the freezer. And if you bumped into him, he'd go, "Oh!" It was brilliant. But yeah, it was so much fun. Like, just, I could spend hours and hours just running around the mansion of that game and not even playing the main part of the game because there's a lot of stuff to do in the mansion. Yeah, there's an obstacle course, so you can practice your in-game climbing and jumping and stuff. And then there's like a gym inside where you can climb up things and jump off of things and slide down things. It's fantastic, Bobby. And then there's secret switches and passageways. You can get up in the loft. There's loads of cool stuff. It's really good.
Sounds fantastic.
It is, Bobby.
My next game also comes from my BFF, Michael Drummy. Ghost in a Shell. This was another one that he said.
Bobby, did you really try? Did you just read Mike's list?
No,
and write down everything Mike said?
There was 2 games. I thought I'd give props to Mike. Here's the issue. I did not play a lot of PS1 games. I played the really, really good ones, and then I kind of fell off.
Bobby, right?
There's games that I'm talking for the people because I'm sure there's more people that would like to play these games.
Okay. Well, Mike suggested another one that I don't know if you've picked, but it should have been there instead of Ghost in the Shell. I'll tell you that. Keep going, Bobby. Come on.
That's it.
That's it. All right.
Go ahead. Holy cow, dude.
Man, I picked the wrong person to make a list with, didn't I?
Yes, you did. I told you this the first week.
You know what? I should have got Sean Capri. I should have gone on We the Gamercast, and I'm sure Sean would have made an effort.
Listen, I made an effort. You sent me the thing at like an hour or 2 ago.
Yeah, but you knew we was going to do it anyway.
I didn't know that. It's been 2 weeks. You went on hiatus.
We talked about continuing the list.
You went on hiatus.
Hiatus, Bobby.
I didn't know we were going to come back to it.
Okay.
Wasn't that good the first time?
So on the first list, you picked a game, Final Fantasy IX.
Oh my God! You're going to take my pick, and now I don't have another one.
And no, I don't know. Am I?
Yeah.
But I think that was a good choice, but I think you just can't have a PS1 Classic without having Final Fantasy VII on there as well.
Yeah, but I added that back this week.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm sorry, Bobby.
No,
I can make up for it if you haven't got enough.
We're only going to do 19. That's all we're doing is 19. We're not doing 20.
I've got more than 5. If you
No, we're good. We're going to stop at 19. We're going to make it an odd number like the SNES Classic.
We'll go to 21 then.
No, we're not. We're going to stop at 19. We'll be good.
Don't no, Bobby.
No, you know what? I thought about it afterwards, and I was like, that's kind of my excuse for not bringing it was kind of a silly answer, and I think that like a lot of people would flip out if it didn't have a Final Fantasy VII on there. Like, as much as I like 9, if I did not put 7 on there, I felt like I thought about it, and it's on my list now because I was like, I got to put 7 back on there, man. People would flip out if I didn't add that to it. So
yeah. I think it would be okay to not have 8 though. I mean, 8 is great, but it's not got the critical acclaim that 7 and 9 have.
Exactly, and I think you could get away with not having it. So that would be my final game is Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Bobby, you stole one from me. That's
good. So there we go. We're only going to have 18. Yes.
No, Bobby.
That's the way we're doing it.
It's
going to be 18 this week. Thank you. And
No, we are going to the 20. You haven't got a say in the man, Bobby.
Well, then you're going to have to come up with 2 more because I don't have them.
Yeah, I've got several more.
Street Fighter Alpha 3, I think, was a really solid game. Dude, those Street Fighter games just started to get better and better and better for a while there. And
Alpha 3 is my favorite Street Fighter of all time.
Is it? I think it started to take on that more arcadey look, because that was a thing up until that point. Like, what you played in the arcade, you really weren't playing on the home version, and that to me felt like that was the true test of where arcade games started to become obsolete, because what they were putting in the houses were better than the arcade, and that's when arcades went away. The minute it got to the point where you could play arcade quality stuff on your at home, there was no need for arcades anymore, and that was, to me, was the beginning of the era. Like right then and there, like that's when it all started. So yeah, that game has to. I felt like it has to go.
I tell you what, there's no other game I've ever played that have given me as many blisters as Street Fighter Alpha 3 on my thumbs. Because I'm a real button basher, Bobby, and that game, like doing the super moves and everything, I love it. I love it so much.
Is that your excuse for the blisters on your hands?
Yes, Bobby.
Okay.
I don't need to use lube to play Street Fighter, alright? Come on. Alright, so my next pick is Hogs of War, Bobby.
What is... Oh, God, please.
Hogs of War
is making this
basically...
worse by the second.
It's 3D worms, it's turn-based strategy, and you play as different nationalities of pigs.
I think you told me about this once.
It's got a solo campaign and a multiplayer mode, and it is just fantastic. It's got really great humour to it. It's brilliant, Bobby.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Take your word for it.
Okay, and the next game, I've got 2 more to pick.
No, you got 1 more. That's it.
No.
Yes.
Final Fantasy 7 and Alpha 3.
Yeah.
So we both had them. So I've got 2 more to pick.
You just picked 2.
No, I didn't. You had Alpha 3, remember?
God,
and then I said Hogs of War. So we've got 2 more, Bobby.
You're killing me.
So we're going to go with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Mm-hmm.
This was on Mike's list as well.
Yeah,
and I'm glad he said it, because I wasn't actually thinking about it.
Yeah, I think so.
Because for me, I think the Tony Hawk's games, like the best one is Tony Hawk's 3, and that was a PS2 game, but 2 was brilliant as well. And a lot of the classic stages and that were in 2. You know, they really started to nail it.
Yeah.
And then, see, I was going to pick Tekken 3, but because we got Street Fighter on there, I think fighting games are covered. You don't need any.
Yeah, you don't need Tekken. Tekken's horrible.
And because you got Resident Evil 2, I'm going to skip Dino Crisis.
Okay.
So instead, I'm going to go with Theme Park. Because Theme Park is a very, very good game, Bobby. It wasn't only on PlayStation 1, but for me, that's the console I associate it most with.
You know what? It really hits me when I hear this list.
What, Bobby?
We don't need a PSOne Classic at
Oh,
all.
Bobby, no. A total opposite for me.
Oh, you're crazy.
I was reading through the previous games, plus the ones we got now, and I was thinking, this might be the best console ever made. Like, the games on this list are incredible, Bobby.
Are you on crack?
Are.
Really?
I'm not.
That is not the greatest console ever. Please, dude. Please.
Come on, Bobby. You can't listen to these games
Right there.
and think, no,
Greatest
rubbish.
console ever. Right there.
Resident Evil 2,
Right
Adventures
there.
of Alundra, Driver 2, Grand Theft Auto, Medal of Honor, Metal Gear Solid, Symphony of the Night, Parasite Eve, Gran Turismo 2, Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 7, Medieval, Tomb Raider 2,
Super
Hogs
Mario
of War,
World,
Street Fighter 3,
Super
Theme
Metroid,
Park, Tony Hawk 2.
Final Fantasy 3.
Come on, Bobby. You
Super
cannot
Mario
deny
RPG.
it.
Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Secret of Mana, Earthbound, Super Punch-Out, Street Fighter 2. Dude, please, this right here, it kills that 20 you just read off.
Oh, I don't know, Bobby.
You're
I think
crazy.
they're neck and neck.
They're not neck and neck.
They are.
They are
Bobby,
not
come
neck
on.
and neck. Please, don't try it.
Listeners, let us know in the comments.
Listeners,
who is right? Who is right here?
I'm telling you, listeners of the Nintendo Guru on the Nintendo Guru YouTube channel, please come through. Please do not embarrass me by saying that Toby has the best of them all.
Bobby.
Go ahead.
Bobby. Hey, Bobby.
You know what, man? Well, we'll get into it with my topic. Why don't we jump into my topic and then we'll kind of roll out of all this. With the talk of an N64 Classic or a Game Boy Classic, do you think that we'll ever see the Virtual Console hit? Also, how important is the Virtual Console for you? And which would be the better Classic to hit first, Game Boy or N64? So let's start with that. We'll start that and we'll back it up a little bit. So which to you would be the better, or would you prefer to see come first? An N64 Classic or a Game Boy Classic?
To me, straight away, just N64 Classic. I think that there are much better games on the N64, and I think that it's sort of just easier to imagine what that would look like, because it's just another console with games and a weirdo controller, obviously. But when you try and picture the Game Boy Classic, you have all these questions, and it's how are they going to do it? Like, is it going to have a screen? Is it going to be handheld only? Is it going to connect to a TV in any way? Like, nobody really knows what that's going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's the battery issue and everything. So, yeah, I just think the more straightforward thing would just be N64 Classic. And plus, people want to see N64 games in crisp HD. Because, Game Boy games they're Game Boy games. Like the resolution's so low on them, it's not like they're going to benefit from being pixel perfect as much,
Here's my thing. I don't want an N64 Classic. I don't want...
Why not, Bobby? Come on, tell me why.
This is why. I don't feel like those games are going to look good at all. I really don't.
Bobby,
I feel like those games should be remastered. That's what should happen.
The reason why I disagree is because we've had Virtual Console on Wii and Wii U, and they've had plenty of N64 games on there. I haven't
bought any of them because they don't look
just because you haven't.
Yeah, but I bought
Bobby,
Super Mario. Okay. I bought Super Mario 64. Garbage.
Bobby,
it doesn't look good. It doesn't. The camera is hot trash. It is bad, dude. Donkey Kong Country 64. Same thing. It is bad, Ben. It does not hold up at all, Toby. And
yeah,
here's
but
the other thing.
if you just upscale them to HD, I think they would look much.
They're not going to do it.
Why not?
Because it's Nintendo.
I don't know, Bobby.
They're not
I think
upscale
they might. I think they might.
Did they upscale it from the Wii or the Wii U?
No, but that was Virtual Console. That was a different thing.
I don't agree. I don't think they'll do anything to fix this at all. I think they will give us the exact ports that are there, and it's not going to be good.
Why didn't they do that with the SNES Mini then?
What do you mean?
Why did they give you a HDMI cord for the SNES Mini?
So you can play
the original SNES wasn't HD, was it?
So you could play it on an HD TV. It wasn't.
Yeah, but the games look so crisp and amazing,
because of
Bobby.
Pixel Perfect.
Because of you can play it in. No, you don't have to play it in Pixel Perfect for it to look amazing.
Nah, I disagree.
It's so clean and crisp.
I disagree. I'm just saying. Listen. I'm just being honest.
Okay,
here's the thing. Do yourself a favor. Mm-hmm. Go play Super Mario World on the N64 or on the SNES Classic, and then go play Donkey Kong Country. There is two different game, like they look different, and they don't look.
Bobby.
Donkey Kong Country does not look good, and I'm telling you. And the thing is that game is a good representation of what's going to come on the N64.
I don't think it is, Bobby, because have you seen when the Wii is emulated online? There's a Wii emulator. The games on that are HD. They are upscaled to HD, and they are standard definition games. And they look so much better when you emulate them online.
Again.
And I think they could do the same thing with N64 games.
Could and will are two different things.
I think they will, Bobby.
Okay, we'll see. I don't think they will. I think they will be the same hot trash that they look like. I'm telling you, man. Dude, listen, I loved my N64. Those games do not hold up, man. I love Final Fantasy VII. It does not hold up.
Man, why are you such a graphics?
Because look, I love pixel art.
You're obsessed with them, man.
I'm not.
I know that pixel art is timeless, and I totally agree with that.
But that's the problem.
I think there is something to be said about appreciating the way those old games look.
They don't look good.
Just because I played them when I was younger, maybe I've got a more nostalgic appreciation for it.
Okay, let's back it out.
That's what the whole audience for these consoles is, Bobby.
We'll back out of my argument of the looks, okay?
Okay.
Super Mario 64. The camera is garbage.
Yeah,
absolute
the camera is garbage.
And it makes the game very hard to play. It's hard to go back and play it. So even up-res in that game does not make that game any good.
That was a launch game, though.
Don't matter.
It does matter because other games after that had much better cameras.
I don't want it. I'm just telling you, I don't want it. I'll buy it just because it'll be cool to have.
You'll buy it.
No, I would buy it just to have with the collection. I will not play it. I'm telling you the truth. I will not play it.
Okay.
They need to go back and remaster those games. That's the era that needs to start seeing remastered games. That's my opinion. Don't tell me I'm wrong for my opinion. All right, let's move past that. So, but for me,
heated podcast today.
But for me, I would rather see the Game Boy first.
Why?
Just because I feel like there's better games on that one.
Please, Bobby, please.
How many games do you think you're going to get for the N64?
We're dreaming, Bobby.
5?
We're dreaming.
This is reality. We're talking reality now. We only got 20 on this one, so you might get 10. Then again, that's all that's about good.
List,
there's only about 5 good games on that thing anyway.
Oh,
because you're not going to put the rare games on there.
Yeah, forget about the rare games.
I think
there are plenty of other good games on here.
Have you tried to build a list? Me and Sean build a list on if we were in Nintendo. Slim pickings, my man. Slim pickings. All right. Just telling you. Unless Microsoft says, hey, you can have Banjo.
What about Bomberman 64, Bobby?
Don't start your nonsense. Okay, next thing. Let's go with with the Switch, when do you think we see a virtual console?
I was playing my SNES Mini because I actually like the games on that rather than the NES Mini. And
I do too. The SNES is awesome.
Yeah, the SNES Mini is brilliant. And
SNES, not SNES.
I was sitting about 4 feet from my TV, as you have to do with the short lead, and I felt like a little kid again, just sitting right in front of my massive TV playing these SNES games, and it took me right back, and I was really loving it. And for a moment, I thought, yeah, I don't need a virtual console. I'm just loving this experience.
Yeah.
But then I thought, my wife's going to want to watch something on the TV soon, so I'm going to have to get off Mario World and sit and watch TV, watch something I don't want to watch, right? But then I thought, well, if I had Virtual Console on the Switch, I could just sit there and play it next to her, and I can take it with me. I can go upstairs and play it, or whatever. So I do still want it, and I don't think these consoles will replace it.
I don't think they'll replace it either. But when do you think we'll see the Virtual Console come?
I don't know, boy. That's really hard to say because it's probably not going to be at least until their online service is up and running. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's going to be for another 6 months.
No, I think January, February we'll get it.
Do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Because Nintendo haven't said anything about it.
That's Nintendo. They'll come out with a Nintendo Direct and they'll go, hey, by the way, this is happening next week. And you'll be like, oh, okay. Like, it's weird with them when it comes to that stuff.
To be honest, yeah, they have been doing that more and more lately.
Yeah.
Announcing things closer to release.
And just be like, hey, this is coming next week or whatever, or next month or however it is. I too, I go back and forth because I'm like, I got so many games I'm playing right now. I don't have time to go back.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like there's just so much stuff coming out this year. Now, if this was last year, then I'd be like, give me one. Because it felt like last year was just in all of gaming, just felt like it wasn't a great year. This year is just unreal. How you go from nothing the year before to like some of the best games on all the consoles, not just Nintendo, like all the consoles. And it's like, this is going to be... Like, I remember getting in like Game of the Year conversations last year, and I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. And then, like, you go into these things, and, like, everybody had a different Game of the Year last year. This year, I think, like, it's harder to pick because there's so many, you know, good games.
It's weird, isn't it? Like, you know, it was like when the Wii U was out and games were announced and they had the PS4 logo, the Xbox logo, and the PC logo. Mm-hmm. They never, ever had a Wii U logo. Mm-hmm. And everyone just accepted it. It was like, oh, of course that's not coming to Wii U. But now, when games are announced, if that Switch logo isn't there, everyone loses their minds. They're like, what are you thinking? Why isn't there the Switch?
Yeah.
And the thing is that is changing now. Mm-hmm. The Switch is really taking off, and developers are starting to clamor to get their games on the Switch.
Because they're selling more copies on the Switch than they are on other... What was it, Overcooked, I think? If I'm not mistaken, Overcooked just got announced that it sold more copies on the Switch than it sold on all the other consoles combined.
Ocean Horn was the same. And it's crazy.
It's insane. It blows my mind, dude, to see how successful this thing is. Like, people just completely abandoned everything else Nintendo was doing and was like, all we want is a Switch. And it's like, you're not only that, like, you talk to other people that own like PS4s and Xbox Ones and stuff, it's like they're the same way. Like, they just want to play stuff on the Switch.
It's the same with me. I look on the PlayStation Store, you know, every now and then I just browse it, see what games are on there, and then I see a game that I want, and then I think, but it's not on the Switch. Like, and I think if that was on the Switch, I'd buy it instantly. Yeah. So I second guess every purchase now, and I think, is this going to come to Switch? Yeah. And I'll wait, and because that's where I want to play my games. So. That's
how I was, because I was going to buy Stardew Valley because I'd been hearing all this stuff, and the minute they announced it's coming to Switch, I was like, nope, I'm buying it on Switch.
Exactly,
like,
me
it's
too.
Like crazy, man. Yeah. It's crazy. All right, so let's jump into hot off the presses now. In this segment, Toby brings 3 Sony stories. I bring 3 Nintendo stories. He picks the Nintendo one he wants to hear. I pick the Sony one I want to hear. Toby, what do you got for me?
All right, number 1, ESRB and loot boxes. Number 2, Fortnite Battle Royale pays off. And number 3, Assassin's Creed Fantasy DLC.
I don't want to hear the third one. I care less about Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
The first one was ESRB and loot.
Yeah, loot boxes or Fortnite Battle Royale gamble pays off.
Let's go for the Fortnite one.
Okay, so Epic Games has released the Fortnite Battle Royale mode as a free standalone game, and they've struck gold with it because at the moment, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, which is the big game at the moment, it's currently not announced for PlayStation 4. Xbox is locking down exclusivity for a while on that. So Epic sort of took advantage of that, and they released this their version of that sort of genre on PS4. And even though it's free, it's been mega successful. They've got over 10 million people playing it.
And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that game struggling when it first got launched?
Yeah, Fortnite it was, you could pay in to get early access, but it was going to be free to play.
Yeah.
And I think it was sort of struggling to get a user base going. But now they've got this Battle Royale mode separately, it's suddenly taken off because people want to play that sort of game.
Yeah.
10 million active users on that is crazy.
That's nuts. It's crazy to think that they had a game that was struggling and it just now exploded because they just added this mode.
It didn't take long for them to do it either. It sort of come out of nowhere.
I think PlayerUnknown Battleground is really making a mistake here because they're taking so long to get out. And I'm fine with the exclusive side of it being on Xbox and stuff. Like, that's fine. But Xbox now needs to lock that down to be the only place you could play it is Xbox.
Yeah.
Because if they did that, it'd be huge. But this just goes to show that, like, if they're not gonna lock it down, PlayerUnknown is gonna go exclusive to Xbox. They need to get out quick. Like, they need to step it up.
Yeah. That's the reason I bought an Xbox, because they announced it at E3. Yeah. So
it's one that I'll definitely try out too. I've been watching more and more of it. You can't help but miss it. It's all over the place, and it makes me go like, man, this just seems like a really cool concept. I would probably never get down to the final whatever, just because I suck at those types of games. But it'd be fun to give it a shot and try.
Yeah,
and it's neat to see how you could team up with people, and then try to whittle things down and such and. You have that choice of do I want to team up with this guy or do I want to kill him? And it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Okay, my 3 stories are the Splatfest in America or in the United States, North America. Why do I say America? In North America, the results are in. Nintendo Japan didn't feel the NES Mini would sell, and Nintendo more open to adult risque games coming to the Switch.
I want that one. Number 3.
Number 3? Basically, a lot of developers are mentioning this now, that Nintendo is starting to be more open to this. They are basically, encouraging it to some degree, letting them bring over more adult-oriented games. Like, there's a couple of really adult-oriented games coming into Japan. Games that were typically you saw on the Vita are now starting to come over. But Nintendo made a statement saying that games for its machines cover a variety of playing styles, genres, and ratings. As with books, television, and movies, different content is meant for different audiences, the company said. Which is basically a good sign. That, we're getting to the point now where they're going to start bringing over a lot of different things and not holding back. There's one game where, you're petting people. We'll just leave it at that. That's getting brought over.
Do you remember when the DS came out? There was a game called Project Rub.
No.
On DS,
no.
And you had these women where you had to rub them with the stylus.
Oh my god!
And they'd be like, ooh, ooh.
You would get that game. Of course, you would know that one.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my god, dude! What is wrong with you? Okay, so with that, let's jump into what we've been playing. Toby, have you been playing one boring game, or do you have some games?
It's not boring, though, Bobby.
What are you playing?
I've been playing Stardew Valley on
really,
Switch. Just non-stop. Every moment I get.
I've been playing it as well.
I've never played a farming game or a life simulator game like that.
Yeah, me neither.
I've always been intrigued by the Harvest Moon, but I've never jumped into it. But for some reason, this game appealed to me. I don't know if it was just the pixel art or whatever, but yeah, and I jumped into it, and I sort of had an idea of what the game was about, but I didn't really know until I started playing. And wow, they don't give you tutorials for anything. You have to figure it out as you go. But I think it's intuitive enough. It's realistic enough that you can just sort of learn your way as you go.
Yeah.
And this game, it's got so much to it. You think it's a farming game, but it's not. It's like Minecraft, and it's got fishing, and there's a life. There's a whole life there because all the different townsfolk go about their daily lives, and they get up and they go to work at 9 in the morning, and they come home at 5. You can be standing in front of someone at a counter in a shop, and then as soon as it goes 5, they start walking around the counter and going home.
Yeah,
whether you're finished or not.
Yeah,
and it's like
they don't play no games with it, man. It's really good, man.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
The other thing too is the fishing isn't simple.
No, I think the concept is like the mini game idea to it, but it's not easy.
It's not a matter of like, oh, I hit the button and here comes the fish. It's not like Animal Crossing where if you hit it right, you get the fish. Like, you hooked the fish, now you got to reel it in. And,
there's the active element of keeping the fish in the green bar.
And it's not easy.
And not only that, when you upgrade your rods, you have to do things like put bait on the rod.
Yeah.
And, because if you don't do that, then you'll get a bunch of garbage out of the water.
Yeah.
And there's just so much to this game. And there's some weird plot element to this game going on. Like, I don't know what it is yet, but I'm getting vibes from it. Like, this game isn't all about just living your life and growing your farm. There's undertones to it.
Oh yeah, like horror, type stuff. Yeah,
there's something else going on in this town. A bit eerie. I love it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, man, I'm really loving the game. I really do. Like, the more I play, I definitely every day put a little bit of time into it more and more. And so last week I played it, right? And I just felt like I'm doing something wrong. I cleared my entire land, right? And I'm like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. So I went back on YouTube and I watched a couple videos of like tutorials and stuff and like how you should start the game. And I'm like, oh my God, I did this totally wrong. So I restarted over. And then when I restarted over, I started streaming it on YouTube. And the people that started showing up in the stream and like talking me through and helping me just really showed me a different light and a different side of this game. And I'm like, this is awesome now. And it really got me hooked. It really did. It's such a good. I'm glad it's on the Switch too. It's just so.
The Switch seems like the perfect place to play it.
Yeah. And when they add the multiplayer aspect to it, it's going to be even better. Like, that's not here yet, but it's coming.
I'm a little sad that it's not local co-op. It's only online multiplayer.
Yeah, but you can still do it locally.
You can't.
Why not?
Like, on the same console, I can't have my wife play the
buy
game.
Another console already. You guys had two ready to go. You had two. You let it go. You let it go. You had your chance. Anything else you're playing?
No.
Okay. A couple games real quick. Splatoon 2, I was doing a Splatfest last night. I had a great time with the community. That was a lot of fun. Me, Jason Lacey, Joseph Moran, we teamed up. Rybo Flavins, he actually jumped in at the end, and we started like really running roughshod on everybody and really dominating and doing really well. Overcooked. Been playing that with Tony. I don't know if
I
you've
watched your
it.
highlights video. That is gonna be the funniest video I've ever seen,
dude. That is. We're gonna play again this week, and oh God, it is. We are so bad at it.
Anyone listening to this podcast, if you haven't seen Bobby's highlight video of Overcooked, you got to check it out. Because you see another side of Bobby. Like,
it's definitely another side.
This is unfiltered Bobby.
To some degree. Yeah. To some degree. I don't try not to curse. A couple slip in here and there. But not the way you know how I play. Yeah. You've heard me curse. You know how I play. So it's still hilarious. Me biting, but man, it is funny. The last game that I started playing it yesterday, and I really got hooked real quick. The Flame in the Flood.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! Have you seen this game?
I've seen bits of it, but I don't really understand it. What is it about?
It's like a survival game, right? So you're this young girl. You got a raft and a dog, and like you raft down the river, and then you'll see like different places where you can go dock your raft. You go dock your raft, and then you go off and you explore these areas, and you're scavenging and you're getting different things, and then you have to like build things. It's like a survival game. So then you have to build like a trap to catch a rabbit, so you can kill it and cook it and eat it, and then you have like different things you're getting. Like you need to find wood and stuff to like build a fire and flint to build a fire later on, so you can cook, and then you have to sleep. Like you have so much energy of sleep and so much of hunger. You can starve to death if you don't eat. And it's like crazy, dude. It's such a good game. And the soundtrack is so good, man. This game is really, really good, man. They did a great job with this one. So I encourage everybody to go check that one out. I think you'll really enjoy it.
I do like the art style. Speaking of art style, actually, have you checked out that game Yono and the Celestial Elephant?
I have it.
Or Yono the Celestial Elephant.
Bought it. I'm a little annoyed with it, so I haven't played it yet. Because you gotta play with the Joy-Cons attached.
Oh, really? You can't play Pro?
So I get it, right? I get it hooked up, I turn it on, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, pushing, nothing's working. I'm like, what the? I looked at the Pro Controller's dead. And I'm like, oh, man. So I
And they won't...
So I go, I switch it over, I think it got ran out of juice. I hook the Pro Controller in to the line direct. I'm sitting there, still dead. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, oh, maybe it got desynced. So I resynced the Pro Controller, go back in, boom, dead. I'm like, what the hell? Apparently there's a glitch right now that they don't know why it's happening.
A glitch?
That's what they said. They got to patch it.
No, I don't know. I don't know if I buy the whole glitch thing, but
yeah, man.
I'll tell you what. Stardew Valley has a glitch. The crackling audio.
Dude, what is that, man? I thought it was just me.
No, it's a glitch, and I've looked it up online. Basically, you play it for a certain amount of time, it starts to crackle, and if you get the crackle, if you just restart the game, the crackle goes away.
It's annoying,
and it is really annoying. But they're gonna be patching it soon. So.
Oh, it's so annoying. I was sitting there the first time, I'm like, what? And I'm actually, if you listen to the show, I'm like, guys, you hear crackling?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. And then like I thought someone were on my Switch, and I was like, oh, what the hell? And so later on I switched to a different game and then went back and I'm like, oh, it's gone. And then like after a few minutes, like it's back again. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Yeah, it's anyway. What do you say about Yono?
Oh yeah, I'm interested in that game because it does look like a different take on the Zelda sort of formula in a way. It's a bit like Captain Toad meets Zelda, sort of isometric thing. But I know that you totally didn't really get on with Oceanhorn, and that I think that's a Zelda style game as well, just with more to it. And this Yono game is basically just a block pushing game.
Dude, really? Are you really gonna graze over that Oceanhorn backhanded slap that you just gave me?
What?
That is not a Zelda game.
Oh,
it looks like Zelda.
It takes puzzles, a lot of elements.
The puzzles
from Zelda.
It's got
nothing
dungeons, like
it's
Zelda.
Got bombs, it's got arrows, it's got lots of things.
Oh, you gotta be kidding
This Yono game,
you know
it's got a great art style.
You know it's not even close to a Zelda.
Forget Oceanhorn for a minute.
No, I'm not. It'll Do Too is a 10 times better Zelda
I'm not saying that. It's got nothing to do with it, Bobby. We're not
Don't
talking about
buy
that.
Oceanhorn. That's what I'm saying.
Bobby,
But you're saying that I wouldn't like this game because you're saying I wouldn't.
I'm interested in what you think of this game because you feel like there's too many block puzzles or the puzzles aren't good.
I like the puzzle aspects of Zelda. That's fun.
Yeah, but in Oceanhorn you didn't enjoy the puzzles, and
because the puzzles weren't good.
Yeah, and I don't think the puzzles are going to be good in Yono. I want you to tell me if they are, because I've watched a review and somebody said it's 90% block puzzles. You know, it's got a little bit of water stuff with it and breathing on things, but most of it is block puzzles.
We'll see what happens.
So I don't know. It looks great though.
I got it. I have to like just play with the Joy-Cons. So I'll do that eventually. At some point this week I'll do it. So I'll let you know. I'll report back to you next week how much better than Oceanhorn it is. That is all. Thank you guys for listening to us on iTunes, dayspace.com, Google Play, wherever you can get your podcasts. Check us out on the YouTubes so you can check the video version of our show. Hopefully you'll enjoy that as much as everything else. Mike Drumming, I did not fix the overlay yet. I'm not going to fix the overlay, Mike. I'm just going to adjust it a little bit worse.
What's wrong with the overlay? Have you got that one pixel thing at the bottom?
No, he's like, no, man. He like... The center logo is off a little fraction.
Oh, right.
And he's sitting there taking pictures with a ruler, like measuring and stuff. And he's like, dude, it's driving me crazy. He's like, it's messing up my OCD. And I'm like, dude, I'd never even looked at it. Like, it never even dawned on me that it was off by like a fraction. He's like, it's off. It's killing me. It's driving me crazy. You got to fix it. And I'm like, No, I'm going to make it worse now. I'm going to like slide a little bit further.
You slide it a little more
Yeah,
over.
exactly. Anyway, follow Toby at Toby's_take. Follow me at Nintendo Gurus. You can follow the show at NinPlay Podcast. That is all. Peace out, Preston.
Later, masturbators.
So creepy. So creepy, man. What the hell? Why did you whisper that? It's so creepy, man.
I thought I'd choose something different.
Oh, that's so. Ugh. I feel like you got like bodies in the closet now.
Yeah, maybe I have, Bobby.
Ugh, you're so. What is wrong with you?